today's video, we got my 2019 Street Bob in billiard blue. It's got a ton of work done to it. It's got about 17,000 miles on it, so I've had plenty of time with it to share my review and share my opinions on what this bike is like. It's got a ton of parts. I'll start listing them off for you. You might have seen a bunch in the intro. Start from front to back. We've got a Connolly's Retro T-Sport fairing with a 14-inch windshield, which is color matched two-tone black and billiard blue. We got the LED turn signals on both sides, blacked out clutch and brake lever. We've got Lucky Dave's riser bars along with a 9.5-inch pullback riser. We've got a gauge relocation kit, powder coated black to match. We got the lay flat gas cap. We got rid of the stock Harley Davidson logo and put on a white logo to match that billiard blue. We got Flo Motorsports Pegs to represent like having a dirt bike on there. You got the Saddlemen step-up seat, which I'll be giving a review of. If you can believe it or not, this thing's got 15,000 miles on it. It looks like it's brand new. I'll let you guys know what I think about that seat later. We got a Harley Davidson Sissy bar. We've got rear turn signals that are LED. We did a 2-inch lift on the back. If you can look in there, we got a Bungking suspension lift on the rear. Last but not least, we got our Stealth 2-in-1 exhaust, made in Los Angeles. It's a great exhaust system, no problems in 15,000 miles. And then we've got a Harley Davidson, I think it's called the Mega Sucker air intake. I haven't done a tune on this bike yet, but it runs just fine with its own OBD2 sensors. It hasn't had any backfiring issues or anything. It's kept the factory warranty because I kept the original parts. Alright, so as I said earlier, I've had this bike for about 17,000 miles. So I figured I'd give you guys a pretty good overview of what it's like to own one of these things and how much I've enjoyed it so far and what it's like to put all the money into it and see what you really get for your money. So let's start with just like the basic functions of the bike. You turn it on over here. It's all keyless. You get 2 fobs when you buy 2019. In 2020, they removed one of the fobs. You only get 1 key, but it is what it is. Over here, you got your horn, your cycle through brights, and your signals. Over here, you've got your engine on off switch, your starter, your hazards, and your other turn signal. So let's see what the menu gives you. So right now, I have it set to miles per hour and RPM. But you can toggle through using your switch. As I said, 17,000 miles, almost 18,000 now. Trip A, trip B, which I've never reset. Remaining gas in the tank. This is your time. I've never set the time on this bike because I wear a watch. And then back to your RPM reader. You also have a gas gauge over here on your left-hand side. It works pretty good. One of my biggest gripes about this bike is the tank, though. It's only a 3.5 gallon. Looks real smooth, being a smoothed out 1-piece tank. You can see from the side, it looks really cool on there. But a 3.5 gallon is about the same size as a Sportster, so you're really hindered when you want to take a long trip on this bike. Down here, you've got all your regular computer indicators. You got your neutral, your oil because the bike's not turned on, the check engine's on right now as well because the bike isn't turned on. There's a red light for security and then a couple other things that'll tell you if your engine's malfunctioning, etc. I've never had any of those issues, so I don't know all the lights that can come on, but it shows your brights, neutral, oil, all those basic things. So let's stop for a second and talk about the bars that I picked up for this bike. Ended up doing a 9.5-inch rise with 1.5-inch pullback riser, which I believe was from Drag Specialties. It's one of the lower end ones, but it does the job. And then I've also did the Lucky Dave's riser bar, which is 28 inches wide and 3.5 inches tall. I don't remember the exact pullback, but it works great. I'll give you a side profile view in a shot. But the one issue that I have with this bike stock is that it came with mini apes, and the mini apes are super wide and they don't work great for lane splitting. I'm lucky to live in California, so I can lane split. However, the T-bars really make a huge difference. It's probably one of my favorite upgrades to do to this bike. And I should mention as well, doing this is fine with stock cables. I did this all myself. You can see we have the stock cables coming right here, wired all the way down. Goes behind my trip computer and my odometer, etc. Down into the frame down here. And these are all stock wires. The cables as well. Your clutch cable will fit just fine. Same thing with your brake. So it gives you a total of about a 13-inch rise, and that works absolutely fine with the stock cables. It really changes the bike into being a more performance-oriented bike. It makes the bike much more comfortable, especially if you're a taller person. Moving on to the best part about this bike, this was the Milwaukee 8 107. They consider this to be a stage 1. I haven't opened it up and done cams, it's a stage 1. And honestly, that's all this bike really needs. I also have a Road Glide with a 114, but that bike weighs 300 more pounds, and you can tell the power difference. The 107 is plenty for a bike of this size. It only weighs 600 to 650, depending on how you got it spec'd out and what you put onto the bike. But this motor runs great, it runs cool. I've never had any issues with it. Some people have had issues burning oil, I have not. It stays extremely clean too. Like I said, 18,000 miles and this thing looks factory. On this side, you'll see where the controls sit. On the older Dynas, they sit more towards the middle. On here, if you can tell, they're more of a mid-forward, and the right side and the left side actually aren't perfectly aligned, but for the way the bike's set up, it actually feels great. Another upgrade that a lot of people do to these bikes, and that I chose to do first actually, was getting a seat. The seat that comes on these things sucks. It's a stock one-person seat, and it doesn't have any kind of lower back support, so whenever you crack the throttle, you're gonna go flying off the back of the bike. So what I did is I got the Saddlemen 2-up seat, or step-up seat, which is pretty much what everybody gets when they're going for the club style dyno look. I think it completes the look of the bike great. However, I've got mixed reviews about this seat. The seat's got great build quality. As I said, it's got 17,000 miles on it, looks brand new, there's no rips, tears, or nothing. You wouldn't be able to tell, other than it being a little bit more glossy where I sit and in the passenger seat. But Saddlemen does advertise their seat gel quite a bit, and they say that it's supposed to extend your ride time 2 to 3 times what you would in a stock seat. I don't know if I can totally agree with that. Honestly, after a good 2-hour ride on this bike with this seat on it, I do get kind of tired. It works really, really good for high intensity corners and any kind of canyon carving you're going to be doing, but for long trips, I wouldn't recommend this seat. I think there's better seats for that purpose. One last thing to note about the Saddlemen seat is that if you end up getting a Saddlemen seat and get a 2-up version, these seats are made extremely well with metal rivets under them to make sure that the leather doesn't pull from under. However, the rivets will eat into your paint quite a bit. I have a security lock on mine, so I can't show you that right now. But if you plan on going back to a 1-up seat, I recommend using a clear bra or some kind of protectant under the 2-up section so that you don't ruin your fender paint on the rear. One of my favorite fixes for this bike as well actually is under the seat. It's the rear suspension. Stock, this bike comes with a very low suspension, but if you can see in there, I've got a 1.5-inch extension from Bungking that goes onto the bottom of your shock that raises the rear suspension. You can tell I've got a little bit of a fender gap here, and that makes it so that I can lean more in the corners. If you're planning on doing any kind of high performance riding on a street model, which is what I think they're made for, you should definitely think about getting that 1-inch lift. It does a huge difference. I barely scrape pegs anymore. You can lean way, way more when you lift your bike. It also makes the ride a little bit stiffer, so it feels a little bit more performance oriented, and it makes the bike dip and turn into corners easier. Last but not least, I wanted to give you guys a little sound clip of what this bike sounds like. That's the best part about owning a Harley Davidson, especially when you dump the money into it. So let's give it a quick rip, see what it sounds like. Let's go ahead and start her up over here. as per usual, guys, thank you for checking out this video on my street bob. If you like this kind of content, please feel free to like and subscribe. We'll have more bikes coming your way.